Greetings everybody. My name is Robin and I'm making a video about the titled The Corporate Military Medical Complex and the Hijacking of Creation and Healthcare. This video that I'm making is basically comes from a talk that I gave in the workshop called Redefining Reality, and it's part of the nutrition series. So here a talk I'm giving is about the genetic engineering, synthetic gut bacteria and probiotics, social engineering, fecal fixation, mind control, and occult magic. So that's a pretty lengthy title, but I wanted to make it pretty obvious what I would be talking about here, so it's not very common subject matter. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about here is the microbiome. It's something that's becoming very popular. Most people in the alternative health movement or in the healthcare have heard about the microbiome. Basically, it's the gut bacteria. It's the environment in the gut plus the bacteria and all other living beings that are there. It's estimated that there's at least 1,000 different types of species there living in our human gut, and as you will see, they play a very important role in human health. So basically, to just make things more, to simplify things, you could classify some of the good bacteria as the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Basically, the microbiome is an ecosystem, so it's in flux, it's in change, and that ecosystem will depend on many factors, amongst other what type of food you're eating, and also if you're taking antibiotics or other pharmaceuticals, and it also depends on how you were inoculated at birth, how your digestive system was inoculated. So there's really a lot of DNA, lots of life in your digestive system. There's more DNA inside of you that is foreign to your own than your own. See, there's more living beings inside of you than the one of you. So you'll see here, it's the gut flora basically plays a key role in the health through nutrition and digestive enzymes and the synthesis of vitamins, and also now they found that the link with the immune system. But there's a connection. Okay, now they call this gut-brain connection, and so this is some people even refer to the gut, the human gut, as a second brain. And so they are linking now some mental health. Some of the our mental health is linked to the how that ecosystem inside of our gut, the microbiome. What's inside that microbiome? And I'm not going to go through all of the different diseases that can be caused by dysbiosis. The dysbiosis is basically like a unhealthy gut bacteria, unhealthy microbiome, one could say. But there's all sorts of things, and the list keeps getting longer and longer. Everything from cancer to the leaky gut, depression, obesity, diabetes, and so on and so on. So there's an autoimmune connection, and it's pretty interesting if you follow all of this kind of research, how important that microbiome is. So there you go here. Put nice pictures. I'm going to try to go pretty fast here because I have a lot of slides. Oops, I think I just, let me see here. Previous. So, yes, so the mood, human moods, okay, mental health, like depression has been linked, and I'm not going to go through all of this slide, but I put it here to show like how the scientists, the scientific community have been studying the pathways and how it's all linked to these arrows going up to the brain, to the gut, and then the feedback mechanisms and all of the different cortisol and the organs, how they're all linked, and the hormones and all that stuff. So depression seems that it would be linked to the microbiome. So this brings us to probiotics. This is something that is growing. It started, as far as I'm concerned, I started seeing probiotics in yogurt, but now it's in everywhere. It's it's like one of the big health food, if you could say. It's a health therapeutic dietary supplement, and it's a market that's increasing exponentially. And see, I've got some statistics here basically saying how it exceeded $30 billion in 2015. Okay, and this is not random. It's going to keep increasing more and more in the future. So you just go look on the shelves and you see probiotics are everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Like I said, the first time I saw it was in yogurt, but now you got kombucha, Kevita, probiotic for kids, pills, all sorts of stuff out there. Okay, it's going to be in chocolate bars, it's going to be in ice cream, it's going to be in absolutely everything. I was doing some research, and there's a corporation that now has a patent, and they found a way to stabilize it, the probiotics, so that they could put it in the dry foods and things like that too. So, but the thing is this, like the probiotics is supposed to be these healthy gut bacteria. But what we're finding now, if you do some research, is that there's a lot of these probiotics now that are synthesized in laboratories using biotechnology. And so probiotic is not a probiotic, is not a probiotic. There's the probiotics, or the bacteria that are found in nature, and now there's the ones that are GMO, genetically engineered. Frito-Lay is like going to be putting some of the GMO probiotics inside of their chips, and the other companies will follow suit. It'll be like in probiotic Dorito chips, for example. Now there's something going on here. Is this whole synthetic GMO bacteria is linked to a lot of the research coming out of the military laboratories. And so there's actually a story and the history, if one goes back to the NIH, National Health Institute in the United States, the origin of the NIH was a military outfit, research outfit, and they were studying way back then, they were studying chemical warfare and bacterial warfare, and then it just morphed into this medical research. So that's why I talk about the military medical. Now it's governmental and university cabal. They're all doing this research together, studying the microbiome, the gut bacteria, and how they could be intervening for, quote, military purposes and, quote, human health purposes. So basically I put this picture here to represent the poisoning of the well. This is something that has been done at many levels in the human existence, in different aspects of our culture and society. The well is being poisoned as a metaphor to poisoning, taking the natural probiotics and then genetically engineering them so that they can deliver what the military call payloads inside of our gut. And the poisoning the well is also like all of the other food that you find in the chemical laced, the pesticide laced apples. You know, they poison the apple. Basically, it's an old remnant of our psyche, and those that are in the Judeo-Christian, Judeo-Catholic, and the Bible talk about the downfall of humans because of the apple. And then you have all the Walt Disney, the witch poisoning the apple for what movie was that again? Snow White. And now you got poisoning the GMO apple and poisoning the probiotics. See, something nice, something good from creation gets artificialized, and that seems to be the common ground here. So this is one of the key players in this here is the MIT, also Harvard, George Church. And funny that they chose the name. They chose a church, someone with the name Church. But anyways, this is not random. They've been, like, if you look at this picture, it's quite telling. You know, they've been hacking the gut bacteria, and this is going to be, they say, could be the future of medicine. No, this is the future of medicine. It's called live therapeutics, and it's going to be replacing vaccines and all sorts of treatments that are currently available in the medical system. So who's behind this stuff? Like it's people like Bill Gates that are funding this kind of stuff. Bill Gates, the funder of the vaccine movement, vaccination of the Africans, and all sorts of weird stuff that this guy's doing. He's been given the ticket. He's not any more clever than anybody else. He's a gatekeeper. And he's pushing the agenda, and that's why his name is Gate. So Bill Gates is someone that's been funding this. Pharmaceutical industries are funding this. Biotech are funding this. They're all linked together. And the military, DARPA, which is a Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, is also into this. And see, DARPA, they want to engineer, and they also they have engineered. They just keep on pushing ahead in this agenda. And you see the language they use here, you know, engineering fake bacteria to patrol the human gut. See, and they also talk about delivering the payload. Okay, so you find in the medical system right now, linked to all these probiotic gut bacteria, you find the military jargon, and it's not random. Okay, they're in it together. So medical payloads, and the payload comes from here, right? This is the delivering the payload. Now this is what they're going to deliver inside of you with this GMO probiotics. And I did some research. You could find in the Department of Defense the budget, you know, the president's budget. It's just a lot of stuff in there regarding living therapeutics, how bacteria can be genetically modified to do all sorts of stuff, including helping the soldiers out in the field not have severe emotional responses to whatever trauma they are going through, right? Because like the microbiome is linked to the mood, depression, anxiety. So if they could give this GMO probiotics to the soldier, they can now do their job, quote, killing people, and not feel so bad about it after. So this GMO stuff, there's many technologies out there, but the nanoscience is part of this here. In the CRISPR, if you haven't, let me see here, CRISPR, I'm trying to show it with the mouse here, CRISPR. It's this is the technology that is right now, like it's like open source. It's been developed by the military, medical, biotech complex, and also that Harvard professor there involved, and all sorts of people involved. And they say it's not GMO, it's not genetic engineering, because they are playing on the definition of what genetic engineering is. You see, they've decided genetic engineering is bringing in foreign DNA inside of a cell, but if you just play with the DNA inside the cell without bringing foreign DNA, then that's not genetically engineered. Okay, but don't be fooled. Modifying the genes is modifying the genes, all right? And even the the National Organic Program of the USDA was dabbling for a while with letting CRISPR in, and they got a lot of pushback, and they decided not to, but it was in for a while. There's a lot of other technologies involving genetic engineering that's allowed in organic, but it's not part of the definition of GMO. So that's a whole other topic by itself. Now here I just put this slide to show there's how they're using all sorts of, they call this oral gemicell. It's more technologies to target and deliver the payload inside the lower GI tract. More language here coming from biological engineering, which is going to be the future stars of the medical world, people that are that have this biological engineering degrees and going to be working for the MIT, creating GMO organisms, living therapeutics to deliver the payload. More Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you see here how they're addressing neoborn infant gut bacteria through genetic engineering microbiomes. So it's not like enough that those when you give birth to an infant, to a newborn, that it's has all these vaccines and now this fake vitamin K and all whatever else it's putting in there. They're going to now put in the genetically engineered gut bacteria and all the other stuff I've been reading about that they're putting in there. Like now they've got the methionine in the soy protein that going to go into infant food, the infant food formula. So yeah, more stuff going into our children is what we need. Designer microbiome, MIT biologists. This is just going on. Microbes manipulate your mind, and this here is oh, I got a little weird change here. Okay, I got a pop-up from Windows. Now, okay, microbes manipulate your mind, and this is why I put in my title mind control, because they influence your thoughts and your mood. Okay, so they're going to be using this to treat psychiatric illnesses, but when you listen to the fact that it's when you consider the fact that it's the military is involved in here, is it really to treat psychiatric illnesses, or only to treat psychiatric illnesses, or to change the mood according to whatever mood they want us to have? And what is a psychiatric illness? You know, like if you look in the DMS or something like that manual, well, pretty much everybody can have a diagnosis of psychiatric illness. So pretty much everybody can needs to have some mood altering therapeutics. Here's like an example that comes from the DARPA project, where they've been funding this research to make the soldiers fearless. Okay, so no emotions basically, and the soldiers won't. You know, they're just going to be told, just take this pill. You know, like it'll help you. They're not going to be aware of the fact that they're genetically modifying their gut. But yeah, they could do their jobs better. Pretty sad stuff here. There's I went to look at the patents on this stuff, and there's like I found over 6,000 patents of new probiotics coming out, and it all has to do with genetically modified probiotics. There's a lot of pharmaceutical corporations out there producing a lot of stuff, so it's coming down the pike. And if you want more information, I suggest you go listen to Jules. Here she's has this series called Before the First Cup, and I put the link over here. You could pause this video and go there. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about here is the occult magic and the social and cultural engineering here that was going on, because while a lot of people would be prepared, to take probiotics if it was like non-pasteurized yogurt or sauerkraut, a lot of people would hesitate to take genetically engineered probiotics that will deliver military payloads inside of you and change your mood, change your mind, and change your DNA. But so they need to be preparing us for what's coming, okay? And what's coming is one of the things is how they're going to be focusing to make us accept the idea of using feces as a way of healing. And this is why this is an old fetish that you find like in many civilizations, even it's even in scripture, in the religion. So this whole poop pill is in the making, and they're opening right now. They're opening some poo banks, like blood banks, all over the world. And I'm not kidding. You have some look in Google. Like this is This is coming big. And it's going to be supposedly to fight all sorts of threatening infections. Okay, so they're going to want you to be taking the poo pill, and the poo pill will be poo from someone else, but also screened, and who knows what else is going to be inside that poo, right? So see, like for example, now Massachusetts has their poo bank, and they give $40 for people to go poo and give their poo to them. MIT also has a stool bank. Netherlands has a stool bank. In Asia, they call them microbiota banks. So all of this is supposedly linked to what they call the fecal transplantation. This is something that they say is going to help cure C. difficile, which is like a bacterial infection that you find only in clinics and hospitals. And what they're doing is they're taking the poo from one person, preparing it, and then putting it inside someone else. Now, this is something that is only right now like in the experimental stages, and they have a special FDA license to be doing this, but it's going to become the main healing, the main treatment that's going to be coming now. So, I mean, some people might say, yeah, sure, whatever is going to heal me from C. difficile, but there's, as we'll see in this the next slides, it's not necessarily been proven that it's the safest, and there's something else hiding behind this, making people eat feces or put someone else's feces inside of them. So there's a few outfits out there that are thinking about how do we bring this to the masses, because again, you have to condition people in order to bring them into the new upgrade. They upgrade the program, and then they have to, quote, brainwash people to be able to want to drink the Kool-Aid. So they started with the kids. Obviously, the children have to be conditioned into this new reality. This here is just I took this off a website. They're showing how this child is going to be happy to receive someone else's poo inside of them. You go right now into the Walmart or different stores. This is like supposed to be like a little poo, and they're trying to see you the bomb. And a poo with the teddy bears. You've got these poo bears. You've got all sorts of stuff. Poo bags, bean bags, poo dough, Play-Doh. You have Halloween costumes, and they're really conditioning people to be into the feces, to be into this feces, which I call the feces fetish. Even the movies and the TV shows out there, like South Park, have been involved in bringing this, normalizing the feces, the poo. There's an American poo movie, their emoji movie now. There's some poo in there. And this whole also, it's been there for a long time, okay? This whole anal probing from the aliens is not a random thing, and there's some, if you do some research and try to figure out what's going on here, these fake alien encounters with these anal probing is linked to the military again, and through some MK Ultra research. Okay, it's all sorts of weird things in there, but you do your own research. I'm just like showing you what's going on here. How else? This is here like George Church, the Harvard guru of the microbiome and genetic engineering, and pushing in this new reality here. He's been given the ticket, okay, to become the university extension. They need the scientists, which are the new priests. The science is the new religion for many people, so they need the scientists to be behind it, to tell us what's real. And see, his name is Church, and that's because he's a priest in the new this new reality. So what they're thinking of doing here is they're going to be using the elite athletes, the poo of the elite athletes, and then they're going to say, why don't you put that poo inside of you? It'll be good for you because you're going to become a better, healthier athlete. And they're doing this now. They call it poop doping. Okay, it's like blood doping. They're taking the poo of the people who are winning these cycling races, bicycle races, and then if you aspire to win, maybe you take the poo of this winner and you put it inside of you. It's normalizing the poo. In Japan now they're creating meat, okay, from poop, and they got these machines. They put poop in one end and it comes out this artificial meat on the other end. Fecal transplants at home now. Okay, there's a website I found, and it's more than one website, but they're teaching people how this could be one day something you'd be doing at home. So there's some instructions on how to do this at home, and people, I'm telling you folks, people have started doing this. I was amazed. I was finding blog after blog of these people doing it. There's this one guy here, Josiah Zahner. He has a website, and he documented how he's trying to biohack himself into some artificial genetically engineered human being. And one of the things he did is he killed everything inside of his guts, and then he inoculated himself with poo pills that he took, poof he took from supposedly a friend who was healthy. He's a biohacker, they call it. But if you look into this guy, okay, you realize what's his background. And he comes from NASA, and he was basically some sort of engineer at NASA working on some fictitious Mars project, and then he was decided to start his own little thing, and he has been given these people, they're given the ticket. You don't find these people like this here, normal people like this here, with all this capacity, because he's got all the publicity going around him, and not only that, he's got now his own little lab in his garage. And he's manufacturing CRISPR packages that he's selling to people. CRISPR, is what I mentioned at the beginning, is a technology to be modifying the genes inside of bacteria, inside of cells and bacteria and plasmids. It's not that complicated, but you have to know a little bit about molecular biology. So he's now putting together kits and selling it on the market for people to be doing genetically modifications. So it'll be like somebody, some neighbor there of yours doing some genetic modification in his garage, thanks to this guy, this former NASA guy, right? So, that's why I looked this guy up. You look him up. NASA Ames Research Center and CRISPR, and he calls it Odin, right? The god. So he's playing God. So what is going on here with this whole poo thing, this whole genetic modification through the gut bacteria, the poo bacteria, and all that? Well, the way I see it, what's going on is it's basically out with the old and in with the new. Okay, so they're moving us away from the the religious programming into the new age alternative health programming, but it's it's more of the same. See, it's more of the same. It's just manufacturing reality and controlling the lives of people through artificial means. And so hijacking creation basically in a different way. So this, like I said, this fetish, this poo fetish, is actually quite old. Okay, this is like thousands of years of this stuff going on. It's not random. You see Hollywood movies. Every second Hollywood movie, even more than that, is has some sort of little wink, wink to the anal, to the fetish, to the anus, to the anal sex, to the poo, to this and that and the other, and people have been conditioned, they've been programmed to have this fetish. And you find this here in the Old Testament. You find a lot of allusions to this poo. It seems that this god of the Jewish god has some sort of blood fetish, killing fetish, and also this poo fetish, where, you know, like, and I just put, you go look at these different quotes here, like in Ezekiel, that Ezekiel bread that is supposed, everybody talks about. Well, it actually says that you're supposed to be drying the bread, cooking the bread, and using dried human dung for cooking fuel. Okay, it's kind of sounds a little bit weird to me that you can't, that it specifies human dung. And anyways, like, it just goes on, like you see this one here, behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces, even the dung of your solemn feasts, and one shall take it away with you. Okay, there's so many. There's a website that documents this stuff. There's like dozens and dozens and dozens of allusions to the feces in the Bible. Okay, so that's like conditioning people. People have been conditioned for a long time about this. And it's not only in the Bible, like Roman mythology has like the god of the feces, and you even Beavis and Butthead had a little like thing about, like, they said they talked about that god of the feces. So they're pushing this also in the television shows. I did a little bit of research, like, so in the Talmud you find allusions to demons that are associated to the feces. In the Babylonian culture, Sulak was associated to the feces. The jinns in the Qurans, that talk about some jinn who are hang around excrements. There's the goddess of the sewers, and the Roman Empire has a few little of these non-corporeal entities that are attached to excrement. The Japanese also have some folklore that they're around the toilets. There's some non-corporeal beings, some demonic beings hovering and around the feces. And you also find this little dude here, Aleister Crowley. If you study occult magic, you find that he was also fascinated with excrements and other bodily fluids. And so what does this mean? Okay, that it means that in different cultures everywhere around the world, there has been some it has been noted that there are some demonic or some lower vibrational non-corporeal beings attaching themselves or surrounding excrements. So there's something here spiritual in the spirit world that is linked to the feces. Okay. And this is not something that is talked about in science, because science is a materialistic, pragmatic, materialistic, superficial inquiry of the world. All right, so poo, more of these now poo suppositories. Okay, so now, like, again, see this, like, again with the anal fetish, 100% natural. You know, nice, right? Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about this this anal fetish that's going on in the modern culture, you could go to the Celtic Rebel. Just Google the Celtic Rebel, and he's got this series called Don't Go West. It's a very interesting thing to watch, because once you're finished watching this, you'll understand that Hollywood is pushing the anal fetish. And this is not random. Again, it's all linked to the psyche, the mindset of people. So someone might say here, but okay, that's all very nice, but maybe this is safe. Maybe this is actually a good thing, you know, like notwithstanding attracting non-corporeal beings and demonic beings around you, and what not, you know. But is it safe? Well, I did some research here, and actually, it's not that efficient. It's supposedly efficient, but the research seems very biased, and there's been some researchers, and see, this is a whole series of doctors that wrote this here. They're saying that there's some failure in this transplant, this poo transplant. Okay, it's not as efficient as some other organizations will say. See, there's those pushing it, saying, oh yeah, this works really well. Then you got those that are saying, well, actually, we can't find that. Okay, they say the patients will cure if they go on a certain diet and they do this and that, they will cure, poo or not being inserted inside of them. But in any case, they're so. What else here? Yes, so there's this journal here. They have the risks and rewards of fecal transplant. And so some people say that 40% of the patients fail the first line treatment, and then 40% of remaining patients fail the second line treatments. But, you know, that's them. There are others that say 90% patients will cure thanks to inserting poo inside of them, their anus. Fecal transplant has helped a lot of people. Dr. Colleen from the Alpert School of Medicine, she says, however, there's a lot we don't know in terms of side effects. Okay, so these experts are saying there's a lot we don't know, and of the long-term safety and side effects. Okay, so it's not all like they figured this out. They're opening poo banks everywhere in the world. They're going to be giving poo pills. They're going to be putting poo up your poop chute. But there's a lot of things they don't know yet. I found more papers here talking about surprise failures. Oh, I got some more here, pop-ups. Don't show this message again. There you go. Okay, poo pill surprise failure shows that the microbiome is still a mystery. Okay, this is important here. It's still a mystery. Okay, microbiome science needs a healthy dose of skepticism. Okay, 2014, 2016. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of propaganda saying that, it's safe, it's efficient, it's safe, we know what we're doing. But some scientists are coming out saying, well, we actually don't quite know what's going on here, and if it's actually has risks and long-term effect risks. Some people have noticed some weird side effects, like fecal transplant causes the recipients to take the donor traits, like depression. It's supposed to cure depression, but if the person that gave you the poo had depression, then you could get depression. Okay, now in these poo banks, they're supposed to be filtering out people who have depression. But I mean, you fill out something, you say, are you healthy? Yes, I'm healthy, here's my poo. Now give me the $40. But some people are doing it at home. They're taking the poo of a friend. Now, so what else here did I find? Long-term complications. There's some research out there showing some potential long-term risks. What did I find here? Outcomes, although it's just more long-term risks. Found this one quote that's really interesting, and I'll read this quote here. And I put the in yellow what I think we need to read between the lines here. So this researchers here, I think this was in Nature, the journal. He says the hype surrounding microbiome research is dangerous for individuals who might make ill-informed decisions, and for the scientific enterprise which needs to develop better experimental methods to generate hypotheses and evaluate conclusions. Okay, so individuals who might make ill-informed decisions. These are people that have been tricked, okay, into thinking it's safe and this is going to save their life. By a doctor who doesn't know better, who basically is just reading the pamphlet of the whatever the poo bank is telling him or her. Okay, the scientific enterprise needs to make better experimental methods. Okay, now if you study a bit science, you know about science. There's a lot of faulty hypothesis testing out there. Okay, it's like they're trying to prove things rather than falsify hypotheses, which is not a very safe way of going about to collect information and gain knowledge. Funding agencies must not let their priorities be distorted by the buzz around the field, but look dispassionately at the data. See, again, what we're seeing here is a huge bias for money. They're not looking at everything. They just want to be. They're pushing something forward, and they are biased here. Press officers, this is the mainstream media, and all the other also alternative media. People just copy paste stuff, right? Must stop exaggerating results. Okay, I call this lying. And journalists must stop swallowing them whole. And that's a pun here he made, as swallowing the poo pill, swallowing the Kool-Aid. The journalists are just tools. They just copy paste information, and then everyone copy pastes, and everybody is saying it's safe, it's this and that. No one's thinking for themselves here. Where does this come from? Why is this here? Who's behind it? And all this and that and the other. Even the spiritual, non-material components to this. Says in pre-scientific times, when something happened that people did not understand, they blamed it on spirits. We must resist the urge to transform our microbial passengers into modern-day phantoms. Okay, so this guy here in Nature, who wrote this paper in Nature in 2015, is kind of winking here at this what I was talking about, this occult magic and this these demonic beings that are attached to this stuff. Okay, but he's he's doing it like in a different way than I am, but he's talking about this the link here between the occult magic and what's going on in the modern day science. Alright, so just to conclude this little part here, fecal fixation, I call that fecal fixation. It could be like a fetish, a poo fetish, or something going on here, is can be attached to these non-corporeal beings, okay? And that you find this in religious occult literature, and the Aleister Crowley's, magic ritual to summon the demons. So what are the real risks here, Like, can we really trust science? Can we trust the military? Can we trust these corporations and all these GMO synthetic probiotics that will deliver their payloads? And so, so even if you were to say maybe this is safe and I need this, whose poo would you trust? Okay, I look around me, I see a lot of sick and diseased people. And a lot of people are on pharmaceuticals, are drinking alcohol, smoking this, taking this drug and this and that and the other. They're not eating healthy. They're eating pesticide foods. They have this and that. So who actually out there has healthy poo? I ask you that. What percentage of the population has healthy poo? I personally don't know many people around me that I think would have healthy poo. So they're just more like this open biome. If you study a little bit, you'll find these this organization is behind this, is like one of these big stool banks pushing the safety, trying to like get the FDA and get all of these approvals to be able to sell your poo that you give to them to hospitals, and they're going to be making money. They give you $40 and who knows how much they're making, but does it really matter? Is that what it's about? Or it's about delivering payloads, mind control, and occult magic, right? So they talk about the procedures and this, that, and the other, and I put this this link here if you want to read more about open biome, how they screen the donors. Okay, but it's a very materialistic screening. And I don't know how they actually find, I read their screening protocol, and I don't actually know how they find people that pass, Everybody's got something, some illness that makes it that they shouldn't be allowed to give the poo. So yeah, that's more quotes here about what's going on. So yeah, my intuition says no thanks. I don't want any of this. Okay, so what can you do if you have taken antibiotics in the last year or the last few years? If your gut bacteria is out of whack, if you're eating really unhealthy foods with all these chemicals, and that has like changed the ecosystem inside of you, and you have all these sort of diseases going on, and you're taking all these pharmaceuticals. So what are you going to do? Okay, how do you get the friendly bacteria back in there? Okay, well, of course, eating properly and not taking antibiotics would be the first step, and then drinking water that actually doesn't kill all the bacteria, and it's all this laced municipal water, toxic municipal water laced with chlorine, fluoride, and all the other chemicals that seep in from the agriculture or whatever, all the pharmaceuticals people are taking and pissing down the toilet. Okay, do they really filter that out? What's left? And again, do your research. You'll be surprised to find how many chemicals, how many hormones is in the municipal water, and what does that do to your gut bacteria? Okay, so drinking healthy water, eating fresh food from the garden, and I'm not saying organic, because I'll make another video and I will expose this whole organic certification, USDA hijacking of healthy food very soon. But I put a picture here of sauerkraut. This is sauerkraut I made. You can make your own sauerkraut. You can make your own probiotics. This thing is the real deal. It costs almost nothing to make, and then it's not GMO'd, and it's gonna bring you the probiotics. If that's what you want, probiotics, then just do it yourself. Don't rely on MIT, the medical, military medical industry, government, scientific cabal to come genetically alter your guts, the life inside your gut, which is you. I suggest these two books here from Sander Katz. He's got these really amazing recipes, how to do fermentation. You could ferment you can make nut cheeses. There's so many things you can make out there. Pickles, like those dill pickles. There's so much things you could ferment, and so many ways that you could be healthy without drinking the Kool-Aid. So a few questions here that need to be pondered here, need to be answered, related to all of this topic is, what is consciousness? Okay, what is consciousness? How do you get consciousness? How do you expand your consciousness? How is your consciousness limited? How is it directed? What is reality? Who creates reality? How do you get out of that created reality? How is it related to your mood and to your mindsets and to nation mindsets, archons, what they called, or egregores? All this here is all linked, and it's all linked to occult magic. And so, and what is the link to food? Okay, what's the relationship between food and consciousness, and feces too? By that token, what is the link of gut bacteria, of fungi, bacteria, and yeasts in your gut, and to whatever is in your blood also? Okay, this is very important to understand. How will those military medical payloads impact our consciousness? If they're capable of altering your mood, altering your emotions, and they know exactly how to do this, okay, so what's going to happen to you if you're taking these probiotics? If you're putting in someone else's poo up yours, or you're eating these poo pills, what's going to go on to your consciousness? What's going to go on to the human experience? Some very important questions here. What is the link between the feces and the non-corporeal beings of lower vibrations, also known as demonic entities? Okay, I looked on the internet. I can't find anybody talking about this now. But now with this video, there is something out there now that is trying to link this here. So basically, what I would just like to end by saying is, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Basically, you got to be in control of what you're putting in your mouth, and now what you're putting up your poop chute. Okay, and this is linked to your consciousness awareness. You make the decisions. You decide. Be the final arbitrator. Okay? Don't be fooled by the medical authority or the university professor that says it's safe. All these people, they don't know what's going on. They're just copy pasting stuff. They don't really know what's going on. Not at all the different levels of all the different realms of reality, all the different, levels of consciousness. They don't know what's going on, and chances are you don't know what's going on. But one thing is that you have to try to figure out what's going on, and it's not going to be easy if you're sick and diseased, and you're pulling yourself away from creation. Okay, because it seems to me like from what I've been observing, analyzing, and concluding here, is that disease, illness, disharmony is caused by moving away from the arms of creation. Okay, what that means is that the more unnatural you are, the more unnatural your environment is, the more you have a chance of having some sort of dis-ease. Then you're going to have to find a way to cure that, to heal yourself. If you keep taking things that are unnatural, that have been genetically modified, okay, you're moving yourself even further away from health. It seems that there's the key to health is very simple. The key to health is to move back towards creation, to move back towards something natural, to move back towards nature. Okay, at every level, and especially at the food and what you put in your mouth. Okay, is what you put in your mouth is very important. It's much more important than what we've been told. Okay, and so don't drink the Kool-Aid. Just say no, basically, and then figure out what it is you need to be drinking, which is clean water. Okay, basically, that's all you really need to be drinking: clean water. Nothing else. It's very simple. Health is very simple. So if you want more information, you could go to Keeping in the Flow, which is the website here. Put some stuff up there. It's I started it not so long ago, but I'll be putting more stuff up there, making more videos. All right. Thank you for listening, and be safe, be healthy, and expand your consciousness.